What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Verified AMA. I'm your host, Lawton Ho, here with Verified Investing, and I go live every single day that the markets are open from 12:30 to 1:15 to answer your questions. I hope you guys are all doing well today. What's going on? How's everybody doing today? As always, if you're here, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Please consider liking and subscribing to the Verified Investing YouTube channel. Really helps us out, helps us with the algorithms as well. With that being said, guys, as always, you can scan this QR code down below or visit the verifiedinvesting.com website to submit your question. And guys, I do have some news. I just found out like 10 minutes ago. We're changing up the AMA, not for next week, but the following week. I'm going to have a co-host. Her name is Liz. She's going to be on the show, and she's going to be feeding me questions, asking me questions. Some of the questions that you guys are writing in. So it's not just going to be me. She's going to be reading them out to me, as well as we're going to be adding in a segment at the beginning where we talk about, some sort of topic, important evergreen topic that I think would be important for you guys as traders to know about. And we're going to be doing that probably every single day. Now, that does mean I won't get to as many questions, but hopefully you guys will enjoy this change and it could improve the quality of the AMA. Like I said, I really just found out about this like 10 minutes ago. So I don't even know what it's going to look like or what it, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys are doing well. All right, let's get into some questions, huh? Dean says, can you say something in Mandarin or other Chinese language? Yes, I can. I speak Cantonese. I speak very little Mandarin, but I do speak Cantonese. I can. Is there anything in particular you'd like me to say in Chinese? I'd be happy to spit some Chinese for you guys. Let's take a look at KDP, huh? So KDP Keurig Dr. Pepper is just coming down a bit. Ben said this morning, Denver channel bottom, has it broken a channel or still good for long? What is in your chart at a day job now? Thanks. Of course, you're welcome, Dean. For me, I'm actually bullish on KDP. I think the buying level is basically around $27. I would probably be a buyer. In fact, I'm already long KDP. I'm actively in KDP long. So I like the chart for potential bounce, and I'm currently long in KDP. So I do like this as a potential buying level, right? Nathan says, good morning, Lawton. What's up? Tesla surged yesterday. It did indeed. So Tesla had a nice run up yesterday and is continuing its run. Was up 6% yesterday, up an additional 6-ish%. Do you see short-term pullback where it goes higher? My level of resistance right here on 392.30. So it did pierce that level. Let's go and close. It did pierce my level. It's trading around that level, at least for today, for a day trade. I do anticipate some sort of pullback. You just need a break below this kind of upsloping trend line. Okay. Nice upsloping trend line. Another level of resistance is this gap fill here. Basically, it appears at $400. If we continue up, that's like going to be major Let me say it again for you guys in the back. Major resistance on Tesla. But it crushed this 392 level just pretty easily. So we'll see if it can get past 400. But I do expect some sort of pullback rate. 12% move up in a straight line without any real news. Yeah. Brewski says, how are you, Lawton? I'm still a newbie here. All good. Happy to have you here, Brewski. How does my chart look, and what are your thoughts on the inverted head and shoulders? Let's take a look. Okay, hello. Wow, this chart is ugly. My chart, not yours. So you have kind of head and shoulders here. Okay, you're talking about this one, right? Let's see if it meets all the criteria for an inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, right shoulder are shorter than the head. Good. There's a down sloping trend line from neck to neck for the neckline. That is good. So, and does it connect all the way through? Yes, it does. So I would say this is perfect. This is an amazing inverse head and shoulders pattern. Let's see that measured move. That measured move is a move about 27% up. So I expect it to go up at least around 13-ish percent. Something else to note though, OKLO is at its all-time highs. And what do I say about earnings at their all-time highs, guys? Let's play that teachable moment, huh? Bullish patterns at the tops of the charts are less likely to play out as opposed to bearish signals at the bottom of the charts. All right. So, yeah. Man, see what else we got. But I like that inverse head and shoulders. Brandon says, hi, Lon. I'm wondering if there's any resistance or shortable levels on Tesla below 430. Yep, I gave you that 404 level. 404 level. And there's a pivot high here for 420. Samuel says, hi, I'm in VXX and UVX. Trying to DCA. Okay. The VXX, you're out of the money. Out of the money 3%. I would not add to this position. UVXY. So the first thing I would say is that you're in two positions that are basically the same, right? You're trading the same thing twice, which I wouldn't do, right? I would highly recommend not doing that. You want to diversify. For me, I would add to UVXY around $10.40. As far as the VXX is concerned, you're out of the money 3%. You don't gotta worry about that. Maybe if it goes to $31, you can add to this in DCA. But I'm not worried about that. Aaron says, hey, Lon, possible solution to your girlfriend parking situation in your garage. I put down blue painter tape that matches up with my wife's reverse camera lines, and it'll work like a charm. Apparently, our similar issue was just a visibility issue over the hood. All right. Well, I will consider doing that. I feel like she's gonna get offended, right? Wouldn't she get offended if I like just came and was like, yo, don't worry, I'm just gonna put this here. It's fine. I don't know. Peggy says hi, Lawton. Enjoy your show. Thank you so much for being here, Peggy. I enjoy your question. Really appreciate you being here, Peggy. Do you think ONDS, okay, and RAP are a good trade? What's the entry price? Depends for a long or a short. For this, for ONDS, I probably wouldn't touch this long, right? If it came back down to like $4.50, I might buy some. That's quite a ways away. As far as WRAP, Rep Technologies, I would never touch this because it is just such a small company. It is very risky, right? And this has already moved up so much, Peggy. When you're trading companies, it's important that you look at the market cap over here, and you want to have generally at least $2 billion market cap, right? There are some cases where we will trade smaller companies, but just know that with smaller companies, there's generally more volatility and it is more risky. Generally more risky. Chad says, hi, mate. I hope the day's going well. Not too bad. Finally able to make a live show as work from home today. Awesome, Chad. Well, I'm happy to have you here. Summer is definitely over in London. Rainy plus winds this week. Yeah, I woke up today and it was like 70 degrees outside Fahrenheit, of course. Freedom units. Um, and it was interesting. So that's why I got a different setup. I got a jacket on today. Looking forward to seeing what the new show format looks like. Yeah, hopefully it turns out well. I'm a little skeptical myself, but I will listen and do whatever they ask me to do. Just a guinea pig. Lulu looks like it's negating the bottoming tail from a few days ago. I guess next stop is the gap from a few years back. Let's take a look. Yeah, Lululemon's just been absolutely being crushed. Yep, looks like it's going to negate that today. So it looks like for me here, yeah, you're looking at 2020 levels. Might want this gap down here, maybe 4% lower for support. And then you have COVID lows down here around 129, right? These are two levels I expect to bounce in Lululemon. I'm personally going to buy in at 155. And then if it continues to fall, you should get amazing support here at around 129-ish dollars. But yeah, Lululemon surprising, right? Company has been historically pretty amazing performer, but then it's like kind of got crushed. What other questions do you guys have for me? What says yesterday I entered a short on Wayfair W at double top. Yeah, I got that alert yesterday on Wayfair. Um, what do you think is a reasonable pullback to take profits? A great question. So yeah, I had that level marked as well. So great job taking that. You're in the money around 3%. For me, I look for a move down here at least to this gap fill, if not lower. Maybe somewhere around here, basically pierce of $80. These are reasonable areas that I expect to pull back to. Chad says UPS bounced a few percentage from its COVID lows. Yup, right here are those lows. My low long is 82.70. Wow, amazing average. Hoping that's a floor for a while. Are you in it too? Yeah, I'm long UPS right now. I'm currently long UPS. Julie says, offended. She's smashing your garage. What is worse? Yeah, she's I don't know. Like she's like, oh, she might be like, oh, you think I'm a bad driver, like, like yeah, you guys know she backed up into the closed garage door. Um, but earlier this week, I think it was this week, or this past weekend, she drove the car into the side of the garage. So, like, let me explain it to you. So, I have a 3-car garage in my house. And let's say this is the house, right? And the first floor is the garage. So, I have 3 garage spaces. This is where I park. This is a guest. And this is where she parks. So, what she did is she drove her car in and she hit the side of the car here. So, this is a new incident. Along with backing up into the back of the garage, she also missed the turn, didn't turn in properly, and just hit the car here. So I don't know if blue tape would help with that. But yeah, it's a $350 bill for me to pay to fix her car because she scratched it all the way to the fender. So, but anyways, but I know if I added lines in the garage, it'd be like, this will help us park easier. She's just gonna be pissed. She's gonna be offended. But I don't know. You're right. What is worse? I don't know. I don't know. Eric says, "Hey Lon, can you show me how to measure a wedge pattern on the weekly chart for a company called Aftermath Silver ticker AAGFF AAGFF?" You want a wedge on the weekly chart, okay? I don't really see a wedge. If you could send me an image of that, I'd be happy to take a look at it. But if you send me a picture of your chart, I'd be happy to look at it. But as of now, I don't particularly see a wedge. Yeah, I don't see a wedge right now on a GF. This is a tiny company, trades off the counter, so it's not something that that I would trade personally. Ray says, hello, what are your thoughts on SBET and BYRN? SBET, sharp link. I had this kind of, you have this kind of down sloping trend line that you're now breaking up and out of. However you want to draw it. I think that it could go up. My max upside is around just under $21. As far as BYRN, you have this kind of wedge pattern. And how do we play wedges? Let's turn this into a teachable moment. So on these wedge, you can play the break either direction, right? You can do this, something like this. Say stock goes up, you can actually short it looking for a move to the bottom of the wedge. Same thing when it hits the bottom, you can look at it, play it for a long to the top of the wedge. Let's say it comes up. You can do one of two things. As always, you can enter on the break of the wedge, or you can enter on a retrace looking for a move higher on a wedge. For me, I'm just looking at this as this wedge gets tighter. As this wedge starts to get tighter, the move I expect to be more explosive. So we'll see what happens. Curry and says thoughts on MSOS. Absolutely. Let's take a look at MSOS. MSOS looking at weekly for a potential higher low. The daily has a potential head and shoulders. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is a very textbook, absolute textbook head and shoulders pattern. I love this pattern. Looks great. I know you're looking for a long, but I will be honest with you, it does look bearish to me. Nothing wrong with that, right? 36% move lower is that measured move, but I'm anticipating a move to this gap fill. This is where I'd probably be a buy around $3.73 on MSOS. Nancy says, happy Friday, Lawton. What's up, Nancy? Hope you're doing well. Can you look at what I've charted on BNB daily for a short? Any insight would be appreciated. Let's take a look. Yeah, I do like it. Do you got something essentially like this? Something like this. Let's see that other trend line that you drew. Pivot high from, even further back. Somewhere here to here. Wow, I actually love this. This is amazing charting. Great job, Nancy. I love this setup. I do anticipate a pullback from this level. Agreed. And if it continues higher, you can reshort it up here at this 942. But I love this chart. You did an amazing job charting this. Great job. I like it. I like this chart for a short. Now you just want to see a down move and then a break of this upsloping trend line. And then I'm anticipating a move down at least 10%, if not more. Becky says, thank you so much for your advice. Helps a lot. Of course. Happy to help you. Adam says, what platform are you using for shorting stocks? Blowfin is a nice experience. It would be great to find short stocks as easy as this. I use a platform called Think or Swim. But Gareth and Ben both use one called Interactive Brokers or IBKR for short. Jonathan says, hi, Lawton. I hope you're well. Not doing too bad. Hope you're well as well. Sorry, I stuttered in my words there. In terms of gap fills, does the price have to hit the wick of the candle or the body of the candle to close the gap? Thanks in advance, Jonathan. The body. Okay, so let's take a look at Tesla, right? Just fill the gap. And you see price went up to here. It filled the gap when it closed here. On green candles, the top of the body where it closed, that is the gap. Not the top of the wick, but right here is the gap. On a red candle, say this one down here, it already got filled. Say this one down here. The gap to fill is at the bottom of a red candle because that's where it closed. That's where the gap is filled, not here at this pivot, but rather up here. Okay, up here, not up here, down there, up here. All right. Of course, Jonathan. Joseph says, hello, Lon. I feel like I'm drowning in my stocks trade. I was thinking about starting to sell a small position when it pops up to 770 level and buy back if it continues to fall and dig my way out. If you're in my position, what would you do? I love the level. I actually just bought more stocks. It depends on your average. The most important thing about trading is not being in a position where you can continue to manage it regardless of which direction it goes. I do expect stocks to move up significantly, but we'll see. Ray says another question on silver during the game plan. Previous few days, Gareth mentioned that the silver price action was weaker than gold, but the chart of silver looks like it's putting in a bull flag. Okay, let's see. Let's see it compared to. So this is not a bull flag. The reason why this is not a bull flag is because it's upsloping, right? A bull flag is this. This is a bull flag. You want, okay, downsloping, make it super easy for you. Downsloping is bullish, upsloping is bearish. Downsloping bullish, upsloping bearish. Downsloping bullish, upsloping bearish. All right, does that make sense? But this is actually nice move up on silver. Let's see the price of gold. Gold, similar pattern actually. But it did put in this nice topping tail here, right? Nice topping tail. Juan says, good afternoon. I hope you're okay. Is it too late for Tesla? I would not buy Tesla. I would say it's too late to buy if you wanted to buy. You could buy in one of two places. I would either buy here on a retrace to the wedge or at the gap fill here, basically at 347 or retrace to this trend line around 367. Those are the two places you can consider buying. Chet says, yeah, I must admit my first thought is, oh man, I've enjoyed 100% Lawton exposure we've had on these shows. But as you said, let's give the new format a chance. NIO is still looking bullish to me after its gap down this Wednesday. Do you agree my long average is 591? So hoping it holds up. So yeah, look at this. Bull flag. But this is also kind of a bull flag, right? You have this something like this. Right? Essentially something like this. Essentially something like this. So this is also bullish. I'm still bullish on this. Let's see here. But it's still bullish. I like this down sloping bullish move. Let's see what Tesla's doing, huh? Looks like it pushed up, pulling back a decent bit. Interesting to see. Adam says, do you guys trade stocks connected to TradingView through your broker, IBKR? I don't, but Benjamin Poole does. Mark says, hope you're having a great day. Oh, I am. I hope you're having a good day as well, Mark. What are your thoughts on Apple, AAPL? So for me and Apple, yeah, I know this looks crazy, but let's just delete all of that and look at this. Potential head and shoulders pattern. We just need to see a rollover. But if excuse me, if you have something like this, that would be really awesome. You'll have a trend line. Let's define the measured move. that measured move would be a move down about 7%, right? So I'd target this gap filled on Apple. This gap fill here from the 25th of August around 213. That's what would be my target. Mark says, hope you're having a great day. What are your thoughts on Apple? Already answered that. Juan says, hi, Lon. You still long in BXX? Yes, we are long in the office. Chad says, $350 bill. Ouch. Sorry to hear, mate. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. $350. I'm very lucky and privileged to be in a position where it's not really going to affect me, right? I know for some people that's a lot. It's not saying it's not a lot of money. It still is a lot of money, but I'm in a financial position where $350 isn't really going to affect me too much. But $350 is the price of to keep the girlfriend happy after she damaged her car, whatever. Samuel says, thanks for your showing the help. I'm part of the trading show at times. When it comes to selling stocks on IBKR, is your average price is higher than the purchase price? Due to spreads, how do you guys DCA long and short at the entry price if you'll be losing money? Do you wait for price to reach the spread price? No, I just put a limit order, and then hopefully it comes down to fill. So. KDP just got an alert on that, and KDP just hit that 2703 level that I was talking about just a second ago. So could be the move. Let's see what else we got here. Ishar, what's your upside target on stocks? Around $9. AB says S&P 500 medium to long outlook. I mean, we're bearish. What else can I say? We're bearish, but my next level of resistance on the S&P is about 5% higher. Excuse me. Couldn't mute in time. About $690, $691. That would be my level. Dean says, funny but sorry, my wife also backed up into the garage door too many years ago. Yeah. Can you say gosh darn it in Cantonese? Well, in Cantonese, when we do something or we're like disappointed or we're like dang it, we go ayya, which is like AIYA. Ayya. That's what we say. And it's just like ugh. Like damn. Or we just cuss, right? We'll say the F word. That's very common in Cantonese. It's like every other word. It's the most common word you'll hear in Hong Kong. Is that F word? Chad says, do we have a bit of wedge action on Intel daily since mid-August? We do. And I do like it. Wow, thanks for bringing this to my attention. I hadn't quite noticed it previously. Let's see how it depends on how you want to draw your wedge, but Intel could be breaking down from this little wedge here. 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Could be breaking down. I would look for a move at least 5% lower, but it's a small wedge, bit of a baby wedge, right? From top to bottom, only 14%, so it's not the biggest. Yep. Brandon says MSTR. Looks like a Head and Shoulders. Any help in measure move down would be appreciated. Thank you. Of course, Brandon. Let's see that Head and Shoulders pattern. I don't see one. I'm having struggle locating it unless you're talking about like this. If you're talking about this one, which has already begun to play out, I will happily give you a measure and move for that one. That's the only one I currently see on the chart, and I'm on the daily. So if you're looking at a different time frame, you can tell me. So this measured move would be a move down 25%. But seeing as we had already eclipsed or at the 50, seeing that it's already fulfilled over 50% of the measured move, I would say that this move is done on MSTR. But if you have a different Head and Shoulders pattern, feel free to send it my way. I'd be happy to take a look at it for you. Now we're contending on this down-sloping trend line. This is actually bullish for MSTR. If it breaks up, I expect to move up maybe 10% plus. Racist, thank you for sharing. Go back to UPS. Though it doesn't look good, a retrace seems slight above the current level at 87. If you connect the trend line April 21st. April 21st, this one. September 21st. Oh, April 2021. Oh. Okay, April. Somewhere here, right? I'm assuming. Next link here. Something like this, right? I'm having trouble actually locating your trend line. If you could just send me a picture of it, I'd be happy to take a look at it. But I would say that there's a good bounce on UPS. I think we easily see above, get back to the 90s. It's also a dividend-paying stock, so this is something that I plan to hold for a while. COMT says a commodity ETF. Can you chart it like you normally chart technical since it isn't 2S or 3X like stocks? Yes, you can chart it like normal. Absolutely. And for me, what I see immediately, something like this, and then something like this, right? Something kind of like this, kind of a wedge pattern like this. Chad says, as I only started trading this year, I haven't yet come across a company I hold which is reported to have an impending breakup, talking about KDP. Was wondering how these situations generally affect the stock price when it happens. Do it materially affect price in general? Thanks, mate. No, what's going to happen is, let's say you own some stock KDP. When they split, you're not going to have any KDP anymore. You're going to have some KD and then some P. So it'll split and you'll get some Dr. Pepper and then you'll get some Keurig. But it shouldn't really affect it too much. Albert says, at day's end, do all of you close positions to cash over weekend or daily? I know swing trades might require different thought. Yeah, for day trades, yes, we do. Chad says, following on my Marvel theme questions from earlier this week, do you have a favorite moment in the MCU films? Spider-Man No Way Home, when Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man saves Zendaya, or the MJ of that the newest MCU universe, right? Because if you think about back to Spider-Man 2, his second one, he failed to save his love interest. And he saved her in the same way. Chad, that was like I was like crying. Is that movie though? Is amazing. Eric says you have to zoom in all the way to see the wedge on the week. It's AAGGFF. You have to zoom. You have to zoom all the way. Something like, well, where do you even connect the top from? Like this? There you have a trend line there. I'd say that's a good trend line that if it can break above it, you're likely to move higher. But I don't. This is like a $176 million company. I would stay away. Christopher says, hi, could you please give support and resistance levels on Wolf Speed? Resistance is 252. Support 189. 147. These are my levels of support and resistance on Wolf Speed. You can take a look, take a picture, snap a picture, pause it, do whatever you need to do, but these are my levels of support and resistance on this. Nancy says, as always, thank you. And as always, thank you, Nancy. Being a new trader, someone else's insight is reassuring. Have a great weekend. You too, Nancy. Have a good weekend. Keaton says, hi, Lon. What's up, Keaton? Is Rigetti a good buy at this price? Look where it pulled back from. Oh, wow. Look where it pulled back from. 5% from that level. Is it a buy? No, I'm not buying this. It's up 14% today. It's close to its all-time highs. It literally kissed its all-time highs today. I would not buy this. If it came down maybe to 1450, maybe I'd be a buyer. Or is QTUM? Is this a good buy? No, it's at all-time highs. It's a quantum ETF. It's a mutual fund. So here's the thing, if you believe in quantum, then yeah, you can buy it, but I would wait for it to pull back at least sub $92. Maybe buy some and stick it in your pocket if you think quantum is the future of the world. That's what I would do. Wes says, what's the new format you're talking about? So my overlords have decided that we're going to change the platform, the way that this works. Next week is going to be normal, but the following week I have a co-host. Her name is Liz. She's cool. She's our junior trader. She's going to be part of it, and she's just going to be feeding me questions. So it's the same thing, but she's just going to be asking me questions instead. And then we are going to be afterwards. We are going to like kind of have a talk about what's going on in the general markets. We're going to have a segment at the beginning where we, for like 5 to 10 minutes, just a discussion kind of to talk about something important that's kind of evergreen for traders to know about. Ray says, for coin, would you chart as a bear flag? I would not chart this as a bear flag. No, I would not. I don't like it. It's too extended. I would not. I would absolutely not treat this as that. Adam says, can you do a teaching moment about gap fills? Thanks for insights. Yeah. Gap fills. This is a gap fill here. I'm like out of time. I'm over time actually. Okay, last thing, Adam, for you, gap fills are just when price, there's a gap. You see there's a gap on the chart? And how to find that is you have a gap here and you've got a gap here, okay? Those are two ways to kind of find a gap, right? Like on green candles, there's a gap. On green candles, you measure the gap from the top. On red candles, you measure the gap from the bottom. Okay, and when a gap is filled, it just means that price gets to that level, above or below that level, depending on whether it's green or red, fills that gap. I know you guys have so many more questions. I'm so sorry, guys, but I'm out of time. All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you enjoyed this content, please consider liking and subscribing. Again, my name is Lawton Ho here with Verified Investing. Feel free to send me a message on Twitter with your question, and I can I'll just answer them for you if I didn't get to it today. Okay. My Twitter account is at Lawton Investing. Just my name, Lawton, followed by the word investing. Hope you guys have a great weekend, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you all on Monday. Have a great day, guys. Take it easy.